Hello everyone and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast is part of the Loop Remit, Loop Remit series. This audio podcast is part of a Labosztix Bloca. This audio podcast is part of a Labosztix View. This audio podcast is part of a Storm Labosztix production. So in this audio podcast, a little bit around the aims of this works around can social media reduce discrimination and ignorance towards those with long-standing conditions, long-term conditions, and so the objective or the aims around this works was to identify the use of social media, and how and whether it can help raise discrimination and ignorance awareness for those with long-standing conditions, and providing a chronic kidney disease or CKD basis, and also assistive technology for those with disabilities, and two, to highlight sort of perceptions or perspectives from a sample through the renal patient support group, the RPSG, sort of a social media platform. Um, the full There will be a full overview of access to a full overview of this works as part of this audio podcast series in on social media. So any listeners or viewers looking in on this works or this audio podcast series can sort of can and should be able to get access to the full peer-reviewed works, which had been published in around 2016, um, and as highlighted in the synopses of this as part of this series. This works was collaborative and was presented at the International Pediatric Nephrology Association in 2016, IPNA in 2016. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast as part of the Loop Remit. This audio podcast as part of a Labosztix Bloca. This audio podcast as part of a Labosztix View. This audio podcast as part of a Storm Labosztix production.